In this video, I want to talk about the $5,000 portfolio and how you can use that in this bull run to get rich. Remember, getting rich for me and you might be completely different, but a great start is just to get that 5K to that 100K by the end of 2025. And the good news is, it doesn't have to be hard. The bad news is, a lot of people watch this video and do the exact opposite because of this little thing up here, which is their mindset. Fear and greed will settle in the market, even though you might think this won't be equivalent to you. So I want to understand something, and I'm going to give you many ways you can do this. I think there's one or two key ways where you could really do this, but there's 1,000 different strategies if you look at trading, etc. Primarily, we're just going to be covering the coins as well with the DCA compound interest way on how you can do this with cryptocurrency. But let's understand something. There's a difference between traditional crypto investing compared to crypto market. So not crypto investing is what I should have wrote there, stock investing. So stock investing compared to the crypto market, because you've probably chosen just the crypto market. If you're like me, I could probably do stock investing as well, but I'm not really interested, especially right now. Maybe I might invest in long-term stuff, but prying up to this 2025 run, for me, it makes no sense to even touch stocks, especially if you're at the 5K kind of mark. Because yes, you can touch stocks and they might do well, 10% annual return on the S&P, etc. But I promise you one thing, you're not going to do much damage, and I've broke that down as well. So the buy and hold strategy is what it sounds like. So you buy stocks, for example, you believe will perform well over long term, you hold them on for years to come, the stock's market average return is a cool 10% annually. Better than you can find in bank accounts or bonds. And this is true and this is great, but there's a big problem with this just 10%, because the buy and hold strategy is exactly what it sounds like. You buy stocks you believe in, perform well over long term, and then you hold them for years to come. The stock's market average return is 10%. And that might sound great if you have $5 million, 500K. But the problem with this is inflation. Inflation is pretty much at 10%, and I would argue it's up way more than that if you look at real assets such as real estate, watches, expensive cars. If you want those real things in the real world, the 5K, 10% annually, we do the maths on that, it's $500 a year, not a month. You're doing fucking nothing in the real world, unless you want to wait till you're 642 years old, which, let's be honest, you're going to be dead. So there's a problem with that. But you can get some juicy gains on individual stocks. So you've got Tesla, Nvidia, and GameStop. So for example, Tesla, if you look at the weekly, Tesla got you fantastic returns in 2019. Let's just have a look at the returns here. What is that? A 50 or so X, 5,000%. That's great. But is it going to do that right now with the market cap? Absolutely not. Nvidia could be a great stock if you are interested in cryptocurrency, because this kind of covers like render, etc. But I would argue still way too big in terms of market cap. GameStop is one of these ones, you guys have probably heard about this, like, yeah, almost like touching a meme coin at this example, but these are kind of the top returners if you're investing in like PayPal, etc., Netflix. I would argue that you're probably going to lose money for the next couple of years because these companies are having a hard time. The Amazon, it's a long time off of doing any serious damage. So this is probably why you're interested in cryptocurrency. Your mom, your dad, these old people, God forbid them, or God love them, probably told you that just to touch stocks, and you were like, okay, let's look at it, and you were like, wait a minute, for my 5K or $500 or even 10K, doesn't really make much sense. And then you got interested in cryptocurrency. At least that was the case for me. I remember my dad would almost be like, son, just buy stocks with the econ profits. I looked at it and I was like, nah, let me try this crypto thing, and I'm so blessed I did. So the same goes with crypto. You buy long term and you DCA, but this is long term with cryptocurrency. If you believe in the 4 years, we're about 12 to 18 months, give or take, away from the peak. So it's not really long term anymore, but you still have to position that 5K. So let's be honest though, there's cryptocurrency risk here. It is the Wild West, really bar Bitcoin and Ethereum. And to be honest, Bitcoin and Ethereum could still be considered risky assets, but I would argue Nvidia and Tesla are almost in the same category, let's be honest. But those make real world revenue. You kind of like, not guarantee returns, but you can kind of know what you're putting into. With Bitcoin and Ethereum, you get what you're getting into, but it's just like once you go past that, this is a risky game. But you choose the game you want to play. And I said at the start of this video, you've probably chosen crypto, or why else would you click this video? So the right choice for the 5K investor is this 2025 bull run, because this is the perfect storm. You've got 5K in the market right now, you're looking to invest, but where do you position this money. But I want to talk about the power of compound interest, e.g. the DCA way with crypto. So even if you do $100 a week, it can go a long way. So this is their traditional way. You call this the napkin finance. These guys released this. And I think this is Einstein. I can't remember his name. He said compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe, and that's compound interest. So what that means is you reinvest money you earn from investment. So you can do this in a multiple way with pools, etc. I'll show you that at the end of this video. But the way the DCA works is if you have $100, let's just say, and you're looking at, let's just say you're looking at doing Bitcoin, for example. So $100 on the long term of Bitcoin would have been fantastic. Back in the days, you would have been acquiring 5 Bitcoin every single week, right? That's fucking amazing, because 5 Bitcoin right now would be, what's the math? 350k every single week from acquiring it at $21. That is $1 million a month if you were buying back in the days, right? Obviously, we're way past the days. $100 in Bitcoin, it's probably not going to do anything unless you're here for $1 million Bitcoin, sure. But you probably want to rinse this cycle up for what it's worth. So this is just the average. You just compound, $100. Even if the prices go higher, you're still DCN, and even if the prices go low, you get excited. But with the hybrid version of cryptocurrency, we know bear and bull cycles exist. First bull cycle, died. Second, died. Third, died. And we're on the verge of this fourth to kind of fifth cycle. And once you understand that, you can kind of use the DCA way, but you can take this with the steroid approach, because you know when the peak's going to roughly hit, get out the market and come and do it again. So we can kind of have a better guess compared to stocks, where it's like, I don't really know what's happening with stocks. So again, nothing wrong with stocks, but the big problem for me is the stock market on average is 10% annual returns, not monthly returns. You're not going to do any damage with inflation, because again, I have this little compound interest rate here. Let's just say your initial investment in the stock market is that $5,000. You can play about with this if you want. And let's say you put an extra $100 every single week, so $400 a month, and you were doing this for 20 years. Now, here's the big problem. This 20 years, Matt, kind of pisses me off, because if you're 30, 40, 50, or even 20s, like let's just say you're 30, you're going to be 50 by the time this is done with your $400. Okay, let's just see how rich you would be. 10 years, 10%. That would be annually, and that is 5k into 308k. And that might sound so great, but you're 50 years old and you've not even acquired $500,000 in net worth. 300k right now might be great. That might be fantastic. You can change your life, but in the future, 308k, it's not going to be worth 308k. It might not even be worth 30k. In purchasing power, it might look that way. I'm in Thailand right now. I'll give you a quick example on how bad the currency is here. This is about, give or take, let me just find, this is like 200k baht. So this is $200,000 baht. That is give or take about $5,200. So that's just the difference. Now again, $308k dollars, maybe $308k dollars in terms of this, or in terms of USD. But the problem was that purchasing power is not going to get you much in 20 odd years. So again, you can come play with this if you want, but this is the kind of problem with the compound interest. Just invest forever, just put your wage in here. You'll get rich in 50 years. That's the problem. I'm not here to get rich in 50 years, and you probably aren't either. So again, the massive problem you have in stocks, because the true inflation, found this on the web, peaked in late 2022 at 18%. So even if you took the 10%, you're losing money. And it hovers around 8%, so you're at break even. So the money you put in today, the purchasing power is you're doing no damage in the real world. Even at the grocery stores, the steaks, etc., you are just doing nothing. You're just surviving, and you're getting paid. Might seem more, but it's not more in terms of inflation. So just understand this. Pause the video right now and just say, hey, man, I'm actually getting royally fucked here. So you have to have a better way, and that is either getting your income up or riding cryptocurrency, and or better, doing both. Here's what I would do first. I would look at big cap coins. What do I really mean by big cap coins? Typically, I would buy 2 coins above the $3 billion market cap. How would you know what that is? You come in coin market cap, and you can see obviously Bitcoin is 1.3 trillion. Ethereum, 455 billion. So typically, if it's going to be inside the top 40, I would choose 2 chips here. So choose 2 coins in the top 40 that you believe in, that have a good narrative, that have a good team. That might be Cronus for you, it might be Caspa, it might be the Graph. I would typically choose 2 to get your feet wet, because what this will do is it will do what it said. It will get your feet wet, you download the Coinbase exchange, and you're getting familiar, okay? These are almost risk-free. Of course, there's still some risk with these coins, but they're probably going to do a 5 to 10x, especially if you come down below the $3 billion market cap. I'd ignore Bitcoin, and I would ignore Ethereum. What you can do is once you ride these up, you can come back to Bitcoin and you can bank Bitcoin as long-term profits. I almost treat Bitcoin as like the new dollar, if that makes sense. I know in the long term it's going to be way higher than what it is right now compared to the dollar. So that could be your new dollar, if that makes sense. That actually gives you returns over the long term. But if you're just buying Bitcoin right now at 70k, you're not going to be able to do much damage for the small investor. So what I would do also is I would ignore this for now. So let's get in the game. So you come on meme coins, you can get very overwhelmed here because you can start looking at ERC20 is up 485% in the last week. Okay, last week. Hoppy 200. Like you're doubling your money every single week. You're 5x your money here. But the problem with this is you might be buying right now and it's ready to dump. Right? You could still do it on the next bull run, but let's ignore this first now and let's start getting our feet wet, and then we can come back to this shit, because this is the shit. This is the dumpster coins. You've got Jesus coins, you've got Andy on Sol. You've never heard of any of these, most likely, and if you have, it's probably already too late. So ignore this for now, stick to here first, and then we'll go down the funnel. So the golden ticket, as I like to call it, and this will make you rich, and this is the kind of secret formula. It's very simple, but it does require some work, right? If you're not prepared to put in the work, probably not going to work out for you. So the best returns with the safest plays are finding coins that had a bad launch. E.g. coins that launched in the bear but are still here today. So I'll give you an example. ICP could tick this box. So if you look at all time, and I used to ignore ICP, but I wish I didn't, because you look at the last year or so, it's starting to overperform, which is great. But you look at this chart all time and you see $428, but it was heavily manipulated. It pretty much launched in the bear market, so it never got a fair chance. Once you start looking at the project deeper, the only problem might be the market cap, it's $6 billion, but I still think it can run. It might be a top 5 coin in this next bull run, if not more. You come and look at the web, you see the website users, and you see, okay, there's 400k every single month on this. You understand what the project is. I'm not here to shill ICP. There's many more examples. I'll give you more, but this is just an example of a project that's great, has a great team, is working on a new product, but just had a bad launch, right? Nothing you can do with that. Marketing comes out, this coin will go to the moon, and you're already seeing that right now. Another example might be Render. The problem with Render is it might be a little bit too late. Great team, great project, AI narrative. It's already pumped up massively though, so you might have missed this one. If you're still looking for a 5 to 10x, it might make sense, but you've missed the 50x, the 100x on this one. Illumium might be another play. I really like Illumium, and I'm kind of balls to the walls on Illumium. The reason is because it did this in the last bull run without a working product, just with marketing. Now they have a working product, a good game. I'm not going to be playing the game, but a lot of these guys are. Next bull run comes, they drive up marketing, and this is where we could see the previous all-time high of 2k, and we might see 3-4k. So again, there's a lot of potential here, if that makes sense. So you're looking for potential, you're looking for shit in a bad patch, if that makes sense. You're just looking for solid plays that are small enough market cap somewhat, that have a good team. And it sounds easier said than done, but if you're just buying the next Shiba and the next shit, you're gambling. We gamble after we make our initial returns, and then we bank long-term Bitcoin, then we can come back to the shit. Rinse and repeat this strategy, but with the 5k, you don't have much darts to throw at the wall, so to say, right? You have to have a sniper focus. So these are coins I would kind of look at. Again, there's many more examples. Just players, development, teams, but they haven't had much light yet. Now, you can also play the hype game. So this is kind of a step one. You can go a bit further than this, and you can play the hype game. Now, Kronos, if you guys know crypto.com, these guys are playing the hype game. So in the last bull run, they pretty much did all this with Super Bowl ads, Formula 1 racing ads, Matt Damon coming to the scene, buying the Staples Center. They have a great product, they're a great exchange, okay, fair enough, but they spent so much money to get the average investor in, bear market comes in, and it goes to shit. So I'm seeing the same thing with Crow. Different strategy, okay, these guys are playing on how much money they're going to deploy in the market, and I can almost guarantee this is going to do the exact same thing again, probably 10, 15x, might go even further than that, depends how much market there is behind this thing. That's another play you could play. So again, there's two ways to kind of play this. Ideally play them both if you want, set up your positions, and then we go back to this, and then we eventually go back to the BTC and Ethereum, right? That's just my opinion for the 5k. Another opinion, drop in the comments below. I'd love to hear your kind of answers on that, but that's the best way I can kind of see it with risk-free. Now, another way, we talk about portfolio management. Portfolio management is very, very important because there's a lot of guys out there in the crypto space that have 50 to 100 coins with like 5 to 10k. The problem with that is it's too much of a spray and pray, right? I hate to spray you on the screen here, but I'm all for the 5 to 8 to 10 coins maximum. Even at my level, 500k or 550k with the recent pump the other day, I still have, give or take, That's a little bit of a lie. I've probably got 13, 14 coins. I've got some pre-sales that haven't launched yet. But if you have 50 coins at a 5k portfolio, like, there's no damage in here. You're putting in so low amount of money, and it just shows to me that you're not, you've not got the sniper process. You've not done the research. You're just kind of, okay, I'll buy this, buy this, buy this. And a lot of people get wrecked with that. And then when it comes to sell the coins, you're paying all these fees. Some are in this wallet, some are in this other wallet. And it just gets very, very messy. I would say 5 to 8 coins. You get the 2 in the top 30 like we talked about with that market cap up to the 3 billion. And then we go under the ones we talked about, like the ICPs, etc. Stuff that had a bad launch but a great team. And then you might go under the, maybe buy 1 or 2 memes or 1 or 2 AIs. And then you might go after like the Cronoses for the guys that are going to be building on the next hype. And that builds your initial portfolio. And then you transition that with profits back to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then we can do this over again, and then we can buy the shit as well. I think that's just the best way, because 50 to 100 coins with under 5k, and you might be like, that's impossible, but trust me, I've spoke to so many guys that are doing this. So you can do that, and you could also, I talk about this all the time, an example is a SUI coin for me. You can also come on platforms like Turbo Finance, and if you don't like SUI, you wouldn't do this, but you can use this by getting yield. So for example, I really like SUI. I think SUI's got a minimum of 5 to 10x. But even if the market goes down, I'm accumulating every single day. Just before this video, I just claimed my rewards, putting this back in liquidity to build up this number, and I'm buying SUI for free. You can do this on Orica, with Solana, Render, Uniswap's the most trusted platform. You can do this in a safe way with still great returns, but you get to get yield. It's almost like little rental properties on your income. It's such a powerful way, and I wish people have told me this back in the days. Not Celsius, not these scams. You control the keys, okay? HBAR as well, it's not really pools, but you can stake that in hashback. There's a lot of ways you can get free coins for free, providing with coins you already hold, right? As long as you understand what you're doing with wallets and then safe pools, you'll be fine. So once you have a couple of big caps, then we go lower caps, then we can explore these pool on a small percentage, right? We don't go 100% in the game. That would be silly. We don't want to ruin all the hard work we've done. And then we can go down the dirty shit coins. This is risk-free at this point because we're already banking so much money here with our long-term Bitcoin, long-term Ethereum, with our big caps, etc. And then the last thing I'll say is less coins is more. Like I said, the sniper effect is always better than the sprayer. It's always a image I share with people that want to do business, and I really think it's the same with cryptocurrency. So there's a guy called Sam Ovens, and I've always said this as well. You have the guy that just focuses on one business, right? And again, apply this to cryptocurrency. So a guy that just focuses on a couple of coins, okay, 5 to 8, whatever. And then you have the spray and pray guy that's bought this. The guy that has the sniper focus, he always wins. The guy that has the one business model and he just goes all in, he always wins.